All right, joining me today is Will Fleury, who fights Karlos Vemola for the light heavyweight championship of the world at Oktagon 65. That fight is on December 29th. So, Will, I got to start here because in your debut fight for Oktagon, they announced you as Wild Bill Will Fleury. And then in your second, or Big Bill, I take that back, Big Bill. Now,
Yeah.
for your second fight, when we get to Germany, we get to the big crowd. They dropped the F bomb right in the middle there. You get to be Will
Yeah.
fucking Fleury. So let me
Yeah.
know how it is you got them convinced to do this and why you decided to use that as your nickname.
So I've always been Will fucking Fleury since I was about 15, 16. Most of my friends have been calling me Will fucking Fleury even before I started fighting. Um, so I like what convinced Octagon, like as soon as I started fighting, it was like, well, Will fucking Fleury is my name anyway, so I'm going to be Will fucking Fleury as a fighter. But they just seemed to actually embrace it a little bit. Like, backstage people were calling me Will fucking Fleury. Even like when they were calling me out for the fight, it was like, Will fucking Fleury, let's go, come on. And I was like, ah, shit. Like, I put down Big Bill because I thought they wouldn't say Will fucking Fleury. So I made a mistake the first time. And then I was like, all right, lads. And even like, if you look at the actual official Octagon thing, like the jerseys they give us, the Pitbull shit, it's got Will fucking Fleury. Now there's an asterisk on the U, but it's Will fucking Fleury basically. So they've embraced it, and I'm delighted. Thank fuck. So yeah, I'm Will fucking Fleury. Boom.
Have you tried to use that before with other promotions? Have other promotions
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, loads. So I've fought all over, obviously. So like with EFC in Africa, they'd say Will Fcking Fleury, which is like an Irish curse word. And then Bellator wouldn't. So I wanted Will F'n Fleury, like Will FN Fleury, but they wouldn't even do that. And then recently, like, so I had the PFL, and with the PFL, I wanted to be called like Will Kung Fu King, because like Fukin, as in fucking, like, but they wouldn't do that either. So I've been trying to edge it in there bit by bit, and like nobody seemed up for it. And then finally with Octagon, I was like, ah, fuck, I'll give up trying. And then they were like, nah, it's cool. You can use that if you want to. So brilliant. You know?
I love it. I love it. Now, I also want to talk about just fighting on that Germany card in general, because, the tagline was bigger than ever. And it literally was bigger than ever, right? Huge crowds, massive. And it's not like you haven't fought in big crowds before. Like you said, Bellator and PFL usually have some pretty sizable crowds. But what was it like just having that sheer number in that outdoor arena, for one of your fights?
It was pretty incredible, yeah. So I've done the Tree Arena a few times. I think I've fought there 3 times, and that's generally about like 9 or 10,000 in the crowd. But very passionate people. It's like a big wall of fucking, obviously you're an Irish guy walking out in Ireland, so you get a big reception. That's been glass, but this was very different because it's a stadium, so it's a much bigger arena. So like when I was walking out, you're looking up and there's like a tier of seating, and then there's another tier of seating above that. So it's a little bit like you're fucking walking out into the Coliseum, if you get me, where like nobody feels that like you're literally detached from the crowd. Because like when you walk out in an arena, the crowd is right there. Like you feel that wall of energy. Whereas this, it was like, there's a fuckload of people here, but they don't feel like they're on top of you. It's like they're way away. So even walking out, like I was kind of like geeing it up, and I was venting my energy, and I was shouting back at the crowd. And I was like, I saw a few Irish flags over in the distance, and I was giving them socks. But like, it's a different buzz. It was very like unique. I haven't had that like that before. And obviously, look, it was one of the bigger events that have ever been put on. Incredible like that as well. And like the production behind the scenes was fucking amazing. But the energy is so different in a stadium. And I can see why some shows don't want to do it. But I like, because it was unique, I really enjoyed it. Like, I think from a point of view of like getting that emotion from the crowd, you don't feel it as much. But there's like a spectacle in the fact that it's so big. So when you're walking out and you're geeing everybody up, you're not really feeling the wall of energy coming back at you. It's kind of there, but it's miles away. And by the time you actually get in the cage, like I was the first guy in because he was the number one contender at the time, so came out second. Like you're waiting for a couple of minutes and you're in a fucking open air stadium and it's cold. Like it's October in Germany. So I was like, fuck me. Like you're like on this massive high. You've seen all these people. There's like a lot of fucking, adrenaline and emotion and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm standing in the cage and I'm like, I'm actually physically getting fucking cold now. So I had to start like shadow boxing, moving around, doing my shit again. It was interesting. It was just a really different dynamic. But like, I'd love to do something like that again. Like, I think if you were walking out, like it was still a little bit bright. It was about like 6:30, I think, German time when I was walking out, maybe a little bit later. like, I'd love to do that in the dark. And like, they had the pyrotechnics and shit going. But for that many people, like, I was there later on the card and like, I saw some of the last few lads walking out and it was fucking incredible. And in fairness, they put in like, the production was really cool. It was an amazing event production wise. Like, yeah, like, it was amazing. But I was on the fucking prelims, which pissed me off a lot. And the next time, I'll like put me on the fucking main card, make me the main event here, and you'll see, like, because like the buzz that I was getting from that crowd was incredible. But I would have gotten a bigger, like, the bigger the better in my eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The more people you can fucking get to come and see me fucking put on, like, look, I did the business in the cage afterwards as well. That's what everyone's there to see. Like, I was the biggest moment of that night. So it's like, put me on the fucking platform where I can go and show people what I am. Like,
Yeah, and obviously that's going to be coming up in the future now. But I got to ask too. You did say you were getting really good reactions from the crowd, and obviously, a lot of German fighters on that card. You're going to Czech Republic with a lot of Czech fighters, including your opponent on the card. Have you felt like a warm embrace from the fans in Oktagon wherever you are?
yeah, a little bit. I suppose I'm a bit of a mad character, if you know what I mean. So like, it's a bit different to your average fighter. Like, I'm not particularly fucking going out to like be some psycho nasty cunt to my opponent. I'm not trying to like, but at the same time, I'm not afraid to be what I am. And I'm like, it pisses me off a little bit when people don't respect how good a fighter I am. So when I made, like, initially I made this video calling out everybody in the division, and there was a lot of thinking like, oh, who's this shit talker guy, blah, blah. And then I showed up with my hand broken and beat the fuck out of a number 5 guy. And after that, I got a little bit of respect because, like, the story's pretty good. I broke its Barnes, fucking Sean Strickland and all that. And then, I called out the number 1 guy again. They said, oh, he's going to smash you. He's going to do this. So, like, after I went in, I absolutely fucking smashed him. And there was a lot, like, especially the German fans, because even I was there that night. I was just like, we were at the bar afterwards, getting a few drinks in the stadium. And obviously, everybody's just seen you knock the shit out of the guy. So everyone comes over and they want a photo. But what amazed me was, like, in Dublin and Ireland, or like even in like England, anytime I fought there, or in America as well, there's kind of a culture of like, yeah, you're good, but you're not that big a deal. Whereas over there, they're very fucking respectful. People who want a photo are always very much, can I have a photo? Can I, like, please, would you mind? Whereas in Dublin, they'll be drunk and they'll be like, give us a photo there, bull. Come on, the fuck. It's a different, I much preferred it. And like, overall, yeah, I felt a very warm embrace from the fan. And like, here's the thing. I'm coming over as like the heel to smash their guys. So when they support the other guy, it doesn't bother me at all. I'm kind of like, yeah, you should fucking support the other guy. You're not loyal unless you're supporting your guy. So like, fair enough. But in general, like, and I've been surprised when I was in Slovakia when they were announcing the Karlos fight, a lot of guys were like, I hope you fucking smash him. And I was like, but he's your guy. And they're like, yeah, but he's an asshole. They're like, you're cool. He's a fucking dickhead. I was like, okay, cool. So we'll see. Like, I kind of expect to be booed going out there. Grand, I don't mind. I'm going to put on a fucking clinical performance and knock the shit out of them anyway. And if afterwards people fucking like it, great. If they don't, even better. I'm going to knock the shit out of the next guy you put against me as well. So it's funny. Like, I'm just enjoying the buzz of like people reacting either way. If they hate it, great. If they love it, brilliant.
I love that. I love that. Now, you mentioned sort of the Vemola fight, and we do have to obviously talk about the lead up to it because, seemingly there's been some bad blood. Like you said, you're not trying to pick fights. You're just here being the type of guy who is what he is. There's
I know I am trying to pick fights. Like, 100% trying to pick fights. I'm not trying to fucking defend, like, I'm not trying to make it some massive personal fucking thing where I'm saying like, oh, I hate you, you're a cunt, I'm going to like kill your kids or some shit like that, right? That's what I'm like. I'm a damn good fighter. I'm here to prove to you that I'm the best fucking fighter possible, right? And that I can smash everyone in this division. And if some cunt's out there denying that, oh, mate, come on, let's fucking go and prove it. Like, I'm all up for proving what I am here. So if the next best guy comes along and everyone's saying, oh, he's the fucking man, okay, give me that guy. Let's go. I want to show you what I am. And like, if somebody who's in that position, like Karlos was, is denying, yeah, fucking, oh, I'm like, he's the champion, is he? Why the fuck are you the champion? You won't even fight me. You can't. No, fair enough. He's signed up. He's doing it now. But I 100% had to pick that fight. So I have no problem picking a fight. I'm more just like, I'll do it in a way that I see as like, in 10 years' time, I can be proud of that. I don't want my kids looking at that going like, oh, that guy's a fucking scumbag.
I really respect that. I love the hell out of that. Now, let's talk about the stylistic aspect of this matchup too, because Vemola's a guy. I mean, obviously, it's not hard to find film on this guy. He's got 10,000 fights, right? So he's a guy you've had your eye on literally since you signed with Oktagon. What are sort of your thoughts on how you match up stylistically with him?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of holes. So, look, like, he's a small, stocky, light heavyweight. He's very powerful, obviously. He's very strong. The guy has some assets. And I think the biggest mistake you could make is dismissing that or underestimating him. But at the same time, there's a lot of fairly big holes, and there's a lot of holes for a guy who's so far on in his career. You're kind of saying, how have you gotten away with this for so long? And look, basically the bottom line is I'll be disappointed if I'm not able to knock him out in the first round, because if I'm sharp and I'm on my game, it should be over very quickly. But that is not to say that it couldn't, like, if you don't do your fucking work right and you're not precise here, yeah, it could be a long fight, could be a tough fight. But if you're fucking hitting the things you should be hitting and you're taking the opportunities that he's going to present, and he'll present a fuckload of opportunities to finish him. If I take them opportunities, yeah, it's going to be over quickly.
Well, you pretty much stole my last question from me, because I always like to end these things with a prediction. You hit me with the first round KO. So instead, I'm going to ask you instead, perfect world here. We're talking about Will Fleury, Oktagon Light Heavyweight champion at the end of 2024. So give me a prediction of what you want your 2025 to look like in terms of fights, in terms of what you're trying to do, in terms of the types of stadiums or arenas you're trying to fill. What is the dream 2025 look like for Will Fleury?
Okay, so it's a long answer, this one, but I'm going to go back to the ban, obviously, in 2023, and I come back from that, and I broke my hand 2 weeks before this fight with Daniel Vreeland back in April, right? So I've been training for, nearly a year without having a fight, and then 2 weeks before my fight, I broke this hand, and I'm sitting there, like, the week before the fight, I'm watching UFC 300, and I'm in Las Vegas. So I'm not at the fights, but I was in Vegas. And I'm in my room kind of going, what the fuck am I doing this for? I'm putting myself through hell. I haven't made any money at this in a year. I'm spending all this money being out here paying for this camp. What's the purpose of this? And I kind of thought, okay, you've fucking spent, like, you've invested this much time and effort in your life to be this guy, to be this fighter fucking who's, like, considers himself extremely high level and can go in and beat the fuck out of anybody. And, I feel like if that wasn't true, I wouldn't be doing this anymore. And that's still the goal. Is like, right, I want to be considered, by the time I leave this thing, one of the fucking best martial artists we've seen. So what makes it fucking is like, or what's 2025 going to be? My whole goal now is to create as many holy fuck moments and show how good a martial artist I am. And 2025 is going to be all about that. So look, on December 29th, I'm going to go in and create a holy fuck moment. I'm going to face plant Karlos like I did to Langer in that stadium. And I'd hope to do that in the first round, but maybe it'll take a little while longer. But I'm fucking face planting that cunt. And afterwards, there's the middleweight tournament. There's this game changer thing going on next year. It's a chance to make a few quid. I'd love to be able to do that. If they let me go down, I'll go down and do that. If not, there's plenty of boys at light heavyweight that I can fucking smash. And I want the guy that you don't think I can beat. So, like, they've got Mac McMurdoch in that middleweight game changer tournament. They seem to consider him quite good. I would love a chance to smash that lad. So it's creating them holy fuck moments. I'm going to be doing that one way or the other, whether I stay up at light heavy or whether they allow me to go down to middle. Obviously, from a financial point of view, yeah, I'd fucking love to do that middleweight tournament. But I understand that I'm going to be the champion of the light heavyweight division. If there are any legitimate contenders up there, yeah, I'm willing to take those guys on. And, like, it's the thing. I would, like, MMA for a while has been exploited. It's just a money thing. It has to be a sport first. So if the sport actually, if there's guys out there who can legitimately fucking challenge me for that belt, and there's a guy like Alex Popik's going to fight December 7th. If he looks fucking damn good in that fight and he's a legitimate number one contender, cool, I'll stay up and I'll defend the belt against him. We'll do a big show in Germany somewhere. I'll make it a holy fuck moment again. But if it doesn't look like that's on, or if that's not going to be something special that, like, we can really fucking build something out of, and, like, yeah, man, I'm 35 years old now. I don't have forever left. I want to do as much special shit in the period of time I can. So, like, maybe next year we're sitting here talking about this final of the Game Changer tournament, and, whoever the fuck it ends up being in the final against me, possibly. There's a lot, but sorry. Basic bottom line answer is Will Fleury's going to be creating a shitload of holy fuck moments.
Well, we look forward to seeing every single one of them. Once again, fans, this has been
Cheers,
Will fucking Fleury, who fights
Cheers.
Karlos Vemola, Oktagon 65. That fight, once again, December 29th. Will, thank you so much for the time, man.
Cheers.
I really
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.
Really appreciate it. See you.